Hi, I'm Paris, and it was 2 Christmases ago that I bought a storm glass to try out. They were all the rage then. It's a glass with some chemical and little crystals in it that are supposed to be able to predict the weather. To test it out, I dutifully made notes every day of what was happening in the weather and what was happening with the storm glass, which was mostly not much. And I had it right here on the windowsill on the inside of the room. I didn't see that it did anything, and like a lot of the reviews have mentioned, people don't think it actually does predict the weather. So I left it, but then I noticed in the comments people said, well, of course it didn't work. You had it inside. You know what the weather is going to be like there. You need to put it outside to check the outside weather. So I put it out on the porch, and every time I'd come and go from the house, I'd take a look at it. And even though it didn't do the thing where the crystals fluff up if it's going to snow and they do other things if it's going to be a hot day, I did find them doing something unique.
Epic Review Guys.
For a while, they started changing color. Have a look right along here. This is not on the outside. This did get dirty and dusty being out in the weather, but the crystals started taking on this brownish, orangish red tinge. Here it is with the macro lens on the camera. And you can see the red-orange coloration there along the bottom of the storm glass. So what new life form is this? Storm glass is filled with toxic chemicals and just a little bit of oxygen. I have no idea what could have influenced some life form to start growing in the color orange. My guess is there must have been some contamination when they packaged this, because it is a completely sealed glass container. So some organism was inside of there that didn't actually start growing until I put it outside. It was out and got enough sunlight, which activated it to grow and discolor the crystals and turn them this orange color, kind of like a rust. And at that point, it stopped multiplying. And while it was growing, it was actually fairly evenly distributed throughout the crystals. But once it stopped growing, everything that had turned orange settled to the bottom. Let's shake it up and I'll show you what it looked like before. There we go. And some websites I saw mentioned, even if it's not accurate at predicting weather, the storm glass is a nice decoration or conversation piece to have in your room. Well, not so much when it's got stuff growing inside of it, but I'm going to give this one last chance. The weather here today in Central Texas is very hot, 90 degrees this afternoon, and then over the course of tomorrow and the next day, fronts are coming through and we have a chance for severe weather. So we have big changes coming. I'm going to put this back on my windowsill here, and I'll take pictures of it every few hours over the next 36 hours, and then I'll post them here in quick succession, and you can see if anything happens. So did you see any changes in the pictures from before the storm, during the storm, after the storm? Pretty much all look the same to me. Now, the original storm glass developed by Admiral Fitzroy a couple hundred years ago actually was an open container. So it is possible that that device, because it would be sensitive to barometric pressure changes, may have actually been able to do some kind of barometer type weather predicting. But since this is a sealed glass container, the pressure changes here aren't really reflected inside. So the only thing that can cause the crystals here in solution to precipitate out or to dissolve is just changes in temperature. So what's the final verdict on the storm glass? Does it actually predict weather? Well, I'm afraid to say it doesn't seem to. However, based on whatever started growing in this toxic solution, it does add hope that we might someday find life on Mars or one of the moons of Saturn. Maybe they could advertise this as an alien life incubator. So if you're interested in conducting extraterrestrial life experiments, this might be just what you need. If so, you can find out more about it. The link down below the video. Otherwise, probably just opening up the curtains and looking out the window, you'll have a better sense of what weather's coming than what this can tell you. Or how about exotic earring? I'll see you on the next review.
Epic